Dr. Taylor's out driving around. I just called his office.
He probably wants to see where he can see the tower from. That is cool, Gary. It's working. Hey, this has got to be much bigger.
Straightened up a little more?
We'll have to straighten it up first for it to have clearance to run. We'll have to run straight down.
Can you run your boom out just a little more?
That we like it comes up, it's gonna have to be just exactly vertical. I'll have to pick it up and do it over.
Today marked a landmark day on the campus of Cumberland College as the tower for WCCR was installed today. Today we have here the Communication and Theater Arts Department Chair, Dr. Keith Simmel. Dr. Simmel, I know it's been a long road to get WCCR to come to fruition. How does it feel today to see the tower go up?
It's very, very exciting. It's more exciting than I thought it was going to be. You're right, it has been a long time, and it's sort of, in some ways, kind of the first sort of major physical manifestation of all the paperwork and all the sort of bureaucracy that we've been dealing with over the last 3 years to get to this point. So it's exhilarating.
And I know that along the way, as you said, a lot of paperwork and preliminary work had to go into this. And until you see something like this, it doesn't really make it feel all that real, does it?
Well, especially since in the early days of our application, we heard nothing. We had made application to the FCC, and for nearly 2 years, we didn't hear anything back from the federal government, and we assumed it was a done deal. And then all of a sudden, when we got our permit to build, we've been, like I say, in the process of trying to hurry up and get everything near completion before our permit, FCC license to build, expires. And we're coming down the home stretch, but I think we're going to make it.
And when do you think WCCR will begin broadcasting?
Difficult to tell. I hope within the next couple of weeks. We still have some technical things to take care of, some cabling to actually take us from the tower into the building. We're still working on the finishing touches for the actual broadcast room itself, for the control room. And we're still in the process of interviewing and auditioning some students to be on the air. So we may have a little bit of programming on the air before the end of the spring semester. Hopefully we'll get things going a little bit more regularly this summer and be in full swing by the time everybody comes back in the fall.
It's very exciting, the growth that our department is experiencing, and while this is primarily for WCCR, Channel 19 will benefit from it as well.
Yeah, that's to me is the really exciting thing about this is what it represents in terms of the opportunity for students at Cumberland College to have this kind of experience, especially in conjunction with our other programs, with Channel 19, with the Patriot newspaper. It's just one more additional piece for students who are interested in broadcasting. And additionally, while students are, you don't need to be a communication major or minor to be involved with the radio station. All that's required is an interest. This is also available to faculty members who might want to do a program. So I hope it's going to be a terrific opportunity for everybody on the campus.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Simmel.
Thank you.
You said you own the system that's been working with Cumberland College to get all of this to come to fruition. How long has this process been taking?
I guess the first letter I wrote to Dr. Early was a year or so ago, I guess, and then was in contact with the folks that are actually in charge of the radio part of campus, and came over and met with them, and we began the real getting down to the ordering of equipment and getting agreements and so forth probably about 3 months ago, I guess. So it's been a pretty quick process.
Right. The tower was put up today, but are there any finishing touches? I see here you're working with some of the material. What else is left today before this can be fully?
Well, we have to put the coax to the antenna, and then also what we're doing right now is putting the anti-climb shields up so that somebody doesn't get carried away and climb the tower and fall off and get hurt.
Now, do you do work with other colleges as well, or just radio in general?
Just radio in general. We've worked for several other colleges. Most of the work we do is for commercial broadcast stations, AM and FM radio stations.
How does it make you feel to know that coming to a college like this, you're helping youth spawn and maybe grow up in the radio industry? Is it feeling to know that?
It is. It really is, because you can have all the classes and the book smarts that you can get, but really the hands-on, the practical experience, there's nothing else that can give you that. And having been in ownership and operated radio stations my own, I've found it's very important to find somebody that's actually had the hands-on experience more than just someone that's sat in a classroom.
And will you stay in communication pretty well still with Cumberland to update on it and check in with us and that kind of thing?
Right. Now, of course, we'll be doing the studio wiring probably this coming week, and actually put the station on the air when it's ready to go on the air. Then I'll file the rest of the paperwork with the Federal Communications Commission to apply actually for the license for the station. They'll get that, and then of course we usually stay in touch on a regular basis just to make sure everything is working, if they have any questions or problems and so forth.
You mentioned wiring the studio. Is that a major process left behind?
It won't be a big process. The good thing about this is they're starting out very small and going to build.
Okay. Done.
Okay, take it rolling.
Lights, camera, agriculture.
Again, you're talking about the wiring of the studio. Is that going to be a major process?
It'll take about a day roughly to get the equipment set in place and get level set and that sort of thing, get the transmitter adjusted to the correct power and make sure everything sounds good on the air.
What type of range are we going to have? This is a 90-foot tower, which is pretty good size for the space that it's in right now. About how much range are we going to have?
Probably a good strong signal, roughly about 5 miles, but you'll probably be able to pick up the signal unless you're down in one of the valleys. That's the unfortunate part of the terrain of this area. If you're on a hilltop, you'll pick it up a long way away, but in the valleys, probably maybe another 5 miles after that, and then if you're on a hilltop, you know, at this power and this frequency, up to probably 15 miles.
Is that pretty good for a size tower? I mean, is this
For
standard?
low power, well, this is what they call low power FM, and the maximum that power that an FM station that's licensed as a low power station can have is 100 watts, and that's what we'll have for this radio station.
The WCCR is starting out very small. Is there potential for expansion as far as higher wattage, more power, that type of thing?
That will be not as a low power station. As I say, the 100 watts is the maximum a low power station can have. There could be in the future, if frequencies change or as other things come available, that the college, if they see the need after this, if this takes off really well, I would see them perhaps looking at maybe more power at another frequency or even at this frequency perhaps.
Okay. Well, that's about all I have. Thank you for your time.
That's about all the answers I have. Works out well. Okay. What a deal, what a plan. I guess I have to keep this mic, it won't come loose.
Okay, what else do you want?
Kinda.
Ready? Okay. Now, in the installation of this, as I was talking to you earlier, it looked like you were having a little bit of, struggle there to get it positioned just correctly. What was going on there when y'all were trying to fix that?
Well, as I said earlier, when we slung the tower, I put 2 straps, one on each leg, so that when we picked it up, it would rotate and hang level with this back leg being pointed at this, and we had to juggle it around to get it balanced. And after we got it balanced, it tilted right on over and dropped right into the mount like it's supposed to.
Now, it's mounted on concrete. How exactly is it secured to this now?
There are 4 bolts in each tower leg. This is standard, actually bridge type angle iron. Steel plates that are basically bent into a semi-U shape to make what is effectively angle iron. Makes it very strong, very durable, but the tower also in winds will flex and give rather than break. So it will, in a good strong wind, it may sway an inch or 2 at the top and have a little, since everything is bolted together, it flexes like the big tree instead of breaking.
So, as you said, with this being used to help build bridges and so on, it will withstand a lot of wind and so on.
It's, I'm not 100% sure of the specs of this tower, but most towers are rated either 120 or 150 mile an hour wind load. This tower is approximately 20 square foot loading at about 120, 130 mile an hour wind. So it's quite overrated for the little antenna that you have on top.
But it's pretty sturdy.
Yes, it's not going anywhere.
As far as towers like this, you said it's all bolted together. Does it come like this most of the time? Do you all work to bolt it together? How is it?
If you'll notice, these are 8-foot sections. So this came on the wooden pallet over there as 2 bundles of nested 8-foot sections, and we simply took them all out, stretched them out on the sidewalk, bolted them all together, had the crane come in, pick them up and set it in. And some crews would build it as they go up, but that's a lot of work when you can get a crane to do it for you in very few minutes. So
So was this all assembled this morning then?
Mm-hmm. We started about 11 o'clock, and the crane was here, and we set it at 3.
Not bad.
That's,
All right. Well, thank you
yep.
very much.
Okay.
Give me your name. Spell on here.
Jerry Schaus,
Okay, spell it for me.
SHOUSE.
C-O-U-S.
Mhm.
Okay. And as
And-
far as like a title or position.
I'm a contract engineer
Okay.
for radio stations in general. I work for Barry at building stations. I work for Commonwealth Broadcasting.
On tape for you as well. The white cable is RG6. That's Channel 19's line.
Okay.
That's going to go for our one day down the road, our remote. And the black cable, the heavy coax cable, is the transmission line from the antenna, from the WCCR antenna that runs into the building, down the tower into the building to the transmitter.
Thunder and lightning. Lightning.
Yep, do this horizontally. That'd be horizontal. You wanna work that way?
I would just, thing is, well, why don't you want to just do it temporarily now, and then we'll bring some more smaller bolts back, or?
No.
You got water on brain. They drill for water on your knee. Would they do anything for your
I back
brain?
your nose off though.
I'll drill that with a smaller one and then make.
They sometimes are good.
Yeah, you're right. There are metal shavings coming off of this, and you may want to be.
This would be a good still.
Yeah, I think that we'll want it.
All right, that's one.
Slightly bigger. Slightly bigger size.